Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Tank be chopping, and I'm back with another haircut tutorial. Alright, so before we jump into this haircut, guys, I want to talk to y'all a little bit about what I'm doing. We're going to be doing a mid fade, kind of like a mid drop fade, because we're trying to keep that crown area pretty full. We're trimming the top, doing a comb over, and then we're going to be adding the hard part. So as you can see, I'm saturating the top right now. I'm just trying to saturate the top and comb the hair the way it lays. That way I can see the way the hair is laying and what these cowlicks are doing. Because as you can see in the back, it looks like it's going to be a difficult task. So I wanted to make sure I saturated enough and combed it the way the hair grows. That way I can see exactly what needs to be done. So now I'm taking up a section. I'm starting off in the crown area, and I came up a section and I just trimmed it a little bit, and then I'm using that guideline all the way forward. So anything that's longer than that original guideline that I set in, I'm making sure to cut off. So I'm making sure that with every section I bring up, I'm bringing a little bit of the previous section in, or my first original section from that original guideline coming forward. I'm making sure that I have a little bit of that hair in my section. That way I can actually see how much hair needs to be cut off. So if each section I bring up has a little bit of my guideline, then that's enough for me to see what needs to be cut off, and I can use that as a traveling guideline throughout the whole top of my client's head. But anyways, guys, I wanted to talk to y'all a little bit about this client right here. He actually came in from Japan for a haircut. And I know y'all thinking like, what you mean this dude came in from Japan? Well, he's originally from Houston, Texas, and he's actually stationed out in Japan, and he was coming back to Houston, so he hit me up on Instagram and he let me know like, hey Tank, I'm coming to Houston. I would appreciate it if you can cut my hair. He came in and I said, hey bro, you mind if I record this for YouTube? And he was excited about it. I was excited about it. So that's basically what we're doing here. And I do want to put this out there that this was probably one of the hardest haircuts that I've ever done. His hair texture it's really crazy, man. Like he's got super straight hair, and if you don't, since I'm combing it, you can't really tell, but if you wouldn't comb his hair would just stick straight out. You know what I'm saying? So it does lay down slightly, but it's just real dense in certain areas, and his hair doesn't really like lay down too easily. So it was a difficult canvas for me to do, but nonetheless, I think we got it done. And now that I know the way his hair lays and the way his hair looks and everything, and like I know a little bit more about his hair, I feel that if he lets me cut his hair one more time, I feel like I can give him a better product than I did on this cut. But nonetheless, we're going in with our Barber Low Pro FX trimmers, and as you can see, we're setting in the first bald guideline. And as y'all can see, towards the C-cup area, I left a little bit of hair. You know, I'm going to be doing my ghost line that I like to do on my clients. And like I said, guys, we are dropping it in the back, and the reason for that is, for one, I like doing my haircuts like that, and for two, I wanted to keep that crown section pretty full. I didn't want to just destroy that crown area, so I wanted to make sure I dropped it in the back. That way I gave myself enough room in the back to work with. Alright, so now I'm going in with my my Barber FX3 shaver. And I'm just going over everything I did with my trimmer, just getting it all down the skin. The closer I get to that line, I am using a slight flick out motion and relieving some pressure, and that's just so I don't leave too much of a harsh line at that line. And you can use any shaver you want, but just my personal opinion is the Barber shavers are probably the best in the game right now. So those are the ones I like to use 9 times out of 10. So now what I'm doing here, guys, as you can see, I'm doing some shear over comb. And the reason why I'm doing this is I want to see how his hair lays when I cut it down a little bit on the side, because he does want to keep this length so he can comb it down. He puts that part in it and he combs this side down. So I didn't want to just go in with the clipper and take too much hair off. I wanted to actually debulk the side a little bit with that, with that shear over comb technique. That way I can actually see how the hair lays when I cut it down. And once I did that, then I decided to go in with my number 4 guard. And all I'm doing is fading that number 4 into what I did with my shear over comb work. And that's why you see me floating this clipper and guiding this clipper up and away. And basically this is just a debulking technique, guys. You don't have to do this. You could just start your initial fade steps, but I like to, most of the time I like to give myself a clean canvas before anything. So normally I like to debulk the hair a little bit. So basically that's what I did with my clipper or my shear over comb, and then with my number 4 guard. And since I did leave a slight line in there, I wanted to go back in with my blending shears and make sure I blend that number 4 into this longer hair without taking off too much length. See, if I would have used my regular shears, it would have took off some length. So I'm really not trying to take off length. I'm just trying to take away some of these, you know, some of these bushy areas. So that's why I went in with my blending shears. All right, so now that is done, we're getting into the actual fading work. So I'm going in with my clipper all the way open, and I'm gonna be coming up about 1/2 inch or so. Now remember, guys, I said earlier in the video, this was my first time cutting this client's head. He has, you know, his head shape is a little different than what I was used to. He has dips in his head, and since it is a new client of mine, I wanted to be really careful with what I was doing. So I'm trying to play it safe, not going too high, and just being real consistent with what I'm doing. So I went in with my lever all the way open, and then I closed my lever halfway, and I'm coming halfway into this section. And then I'm gonna close my lever notch by notch and work my way down until I'm at that bottom line, and my clipper should be all the way closed by the time I get to that bottom line, and it should take out that line for the most part. But if it don't, I know that I can come in with my trimmer and take that line out, so it's not a big issue. But going back into what I was doing right here, as you can see, before I put this one on, you can see some dark areas where I could have probably detailed it a little more, but I didn't want to spend too much time detailing on this cut. I wanted to get my initial steps in so I can just see how the hair is laying and see what needed to be done, you know, to make this haircut look better. So this is my number 1 guard lever open, coming up another section, about 1/2 inch or so. And as y'all can see, once again, guys, I'm being really consistent with what I'm doing. And I'm just floating that clipper, you know what I'm saying, using a slight flick out motion. I don't want to really say floating the clipper, but I am using a slight flick out motion. That way it fades into this longer hair. And then I am going to close my lever all the way and attack that bottom line in this section. And once again, guys, I know that line isn't going to come completely out. I know that I'm going to have to use my 1/16 guard, so I'm not really worried if it has a line right there. I just want to, you know, just tap at that line and erase it slightly. And as y'all can see, if y'all see like right behind his ear area, well, not right behind his ear, but like right there, it's a little darker right there, and that's where he has like denser hair. So it was an issue right there, but nonetheless, I think we got it done. And y'all see it when the cut is done. Y'all let me know what y'all think. So this is my 1/16 guard, like I said, guys. I went in with my lever halfway open, and I just started attacking that line, and then I'm just adjusting my lever as needed to try to get rid of that line. But at the same time, I don't want to go all the way up to where my line with my 1 open is, because then it's gonna take off all that hair, and it's basically gonna leave another guideline right there. So now what I'm doing is I'm going in with my 1.5 guard. Lever is open, and I'm setting in my next guideline. And as y'all can see on this section right here, I am using more of a flick out motion. And once again, guys, the reason for that is he's got a lot of weight, you know, that we're trying to fade into. So I don't want to just, you know, push that clipper too high in there, and it's going to leave too harsh of a line. So that's the reason for me using more of a flick out motion in this section. And once again, guys, being really consistent with what I'm doing. And then I'm going to close my lever, and I'm going to come right underneath that with my lever closed. So here is my number 3 guard. Lever is open. And I'm basically coming right below where I came with that number 4 guard. And as you can see, I'm using that slight flick out motion, trying to make sure this fades into what I did earlier in the haircut. That way I don't leave another line to make it harder on myself. Even though most of the time when you have a new client, guys, I don't want to say you make it harder on yourself, but sometimes it happens because, you know, with me, for instance, I like to give my clients a good haircut. So I'm like really like, when I have new clients, I really take my time, and I'm real like cautious with what I'm doing, and I try to be perfect. And I know I probably should just go through my normal steps and just do what I do, but you know, I like to be a little careful with it. But this is my number 2 guard, lever open, and I'm coming right below what I did with that number 3 guard. So basically what I'm doing now, guys, I'm doing some down fading technique. And as you can see towards the back of his head, you know, right where his head starts to round towards the back, there is some dark areas, and that's due to his bone structure in his skull. So it made it a little difficult for me, but nonetheless, you know, like I said, guys, I think we got it done. And now that I know the way his head shape is and know the way his hair is, I think that if I cut his hair again, I think I could do, you know, a better job on it. But here is my 1.5 guard, lever open, and once again I'm still doing some down fading, trying to detail this line because I already did use my 1.5 guard earlier in this cut. So I'm coming back in with it and just detailing this area some more, because as y'all can see, there's some discrepancies in this cut still some dark areas that I need to tend to. So I'm making sure that I'm just being consistent with it, going over it as many times as I feel needed, and trying to use corner blending, you know, trying not to overdo it, because you can mess up the whole cut by overdoing it. And here is my 1 guard lever open, and as you can see, I'm using the corner of my blade a lot now, because for one, I'm detailing, and for two, I'm trying to be real specific with what I'm doing, and I'm trying to just do a little bit at a time. I'm not trying to do too much. And once again, guys, what I'm doing now is just some detail work. So you'll see me adjusting my lever as needed, you know, using a lot of corner blending, just trying to get this fade to come together. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. And now I reverted back to my 1.5 guard. So when it comes to detailing, guys, you can revert back to any guard you need. You don't have to just go in a certain order. You can use whatever guard you feel is needed. If you feel you need to use the 1 guard or the 2 guard, or jump from the 1/16 to the 1 guard, you do what you got to do to make sure that fade comes together. So the good thing about this haircut too, guys, is like I said earlier, it came from Japan. Him and his wife actually, you know, do hair in Japan, and his wife always cuts his hair. And I was telling him, like, bro, you got a hard haircut. And his wife was like, yes, I know, tell me about it. Like, she was agreeing with me. He's got a hard haircut to cut, and you know, he cuts hair also. So we had good conversation in the shop just about cutting hair, you know, tools we like to use, different types of enhancements we use, just, you know, just good barber talk, you know what I'm saying? I really appreciate that, man. Like, I'm glad you came out, and I'm glad you let me cut your hair, and I enjoyed the time we had, and the conversation was on point, man. I hope you enjoyed it. But what you see me doing now, guys, I'm using my Low Pro FX trimmer, and I'm just setting in his line up in front, you know what I'm saying? Started off in the middle of his hairline, and I worked my way over little by little till I got to that vertical bar, set in my vertical bar, and now I'm gonna hit that C cup. And as y'all can see, that blend, it's there. Like, yeah, I know it needs some work, but y'all know how I do it, guys. Y'all know once I think I'm done, or once I feel like I'm doing too much, I have to move to the lineup, line my client up, and then go back to the fade and see what needs to be done. And that's what I'm doing now, guys. I'm going back in, detailing it. I'm not exactly sure what guard this is. I'm assuming it's the 1.5 guard, just looking at the haircut. And now, so it was the 1.5 guard. Now this is my 1 guard. Using that corner blending technique again, guys, just trying to get this fade nice and blurry. Y'all let me know how you think your boy is doing so far. I know the haircut's not done, but y'all just let me know what y'all think. So now what I'm doing here, guys, I'm just going back in with my blending shears, just trying to get this fade to come together a little better. And once again, guys, we are doing the hard part, so that's what I'm doing here. I switched up to my FX3 trimmers. These trimmers I feel are really good for setting in lines, setting in parts. So most of the time when I do a part or a little design, I like to use these trimmers. Alright, guys, so now that the left side of the haircut is done, I'm moving on to the opposite side, and we're basically going to be doing the same thing. What I'm doing here is I'm debulking the side of my client's head with that number 4 guard. And once that is done, I'm gonna start my steps all over. So I'm going in with my clipper halfway, or not halfway open, I'm sorry. I'm going in with my lever all the way open, and I'm setting in my next guideline, then I'm gonna fade that out. And then, like I said, I'm gonna be doing the same exact steps that I did on the opposite side. So once again, guys, like I said, this guy came from Japan for his haircut. He is a YouTube subscriber. He does follow me on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? He also cuts hair. So it's just I think it's really tight when you have clients like that come in and they cut hair, and they have a passion for cutting hair just like I do, because I feel that we can talk a little more like I just feel that the talks are a little more personal, you know what I'm saying? Like, we had a great time talking about a bunch of barbering stuff, and that's what's really cool. Like, when you have someone you could just share your passion with, like a client, like when y'all just going back and forth and feeding off each other's energy. Like, I know he had a good time in the shop, even if he didn't like the cut. Like, I'm sure he liked the cut, but even if he didn't, I know he had a good time in the shop, man. Like, we had a good conversation. It was just me and him. He was the last client of the day. The other barbers were done cutting hair, so we were all just talking, man. And it was good conversation for everybody. And that's the good thing about a shop environment. Like, everyone was tripped out. Like, my co-barbers were like, "What? This dude came from Japan for a haircut? Like, you got people flying, across the world for a haircut?" And it's like I guess technically you can say yes, but for the most part, you know what I'm saying? He's from Houston anyways, but like, it is flattering, like, and I do appreciate that. I know I said that earlier, but it's just, to me, I just think it's so crazy that I got, I started this YouTube channel like 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years. Yeah, I think it's about 2 years ago now. And I got people who know about me from across the world. I just think it's crazy, and I'm really grateful for it. And I'm gonna continue to keep putting out content for y'all guys. I really appreciate y'all for rocking with me. And remember, guys, if you're in the Houston, Texas area and you want a haircut, you can book an appointment with me at tankbchopping.com. But you gotta be in the Houston, Texas area, or if you're gonna be in the Houston, Texas area anytime soon, you can book an appointment on my website. And you can message me on Instagram, or when you set the appointment, you can let me know, like, "Hey, Tank, I want this to be for YouTube," and I'll try my best to get it in for YouTube. I can't promise you that I can get it in for YouTube, because sometimes I'm busy, like, and I got clients after y'all, so I can't really just record the whole haircut. But for the most part, I'm gonna try. But jumping back into this haircut, guys, as you can see, I'm finishing up this side of the cut, and it's coming together. There is still some discrepancies in there that I'm taking care of, but for the most part, as y'all can see, it's looking, well, at least I think it's looking pretty blurry. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this cut so far. We just, we hitting them with them final touches, man. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm going in with my pomade. I just put some no-name pomade in his hair. I wanted to style his hair before I hit him with the razor and hit him with them enhancements. So I combed his hair, I wanted it to see exactly how it laid before I put my finishing touches on this cut. Alright, so now I'm going in with my no drip from Tune 45, and all I'm doing is spraying this hairline with a little bit of enhancements, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to darken these lines up slightly, just trying to make them look a little sharper, you know what I'm saying? Taking this haircut to the next level. And then what I'm gonna do after this is I'm gonna double up on these enhancements, meaning I'm actually gonna put some hair fibers. So I'm gonna show you how to do that right now. So once I put the no drip on there, I'm gonna spray my client with some hairspray, and then I'm gonna hit him with them hair fibers. And then I'm gonna spray them again with hairspray, and then go back in and reline everything up. That way it's nice and sharp. And the reason why I put these hair fibers on after the spray, the paint, is because I feel that it gives it more of a natural look. Yes, it does make it look a little darker, but it actually looks like it's hair and not just paint. So once again, guys, I seen S-Craft doing this, so I decided to start doing it myself, and I really like it. I think it looks good, and I think my clients like it. So now I'm going in with my razor, and all I'm doing is setting these lines up, hitting these lines. I don't know why I said setting these lines up, but hitting these lines with that razor, trying to get everything razor sharp. Alright, guys, check it out. This is how my boy came into the shop looking, and this is how he left. Y'all let me know what you think about this haircut in the comment section. If y'all like this video, please make sure to smash that like button. Also, if you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe one time for your boy. Remember, guys, if you're in the Houston, Texas area and you're trying to get a haircut from your boy, you can book an appointment with me, tankbchopping.com. Make sure to put when you schedule that you want it for YouTube. But remember, guys, you got to be in the Houston, Texas area. But once again, guys, y'all take a look at this cut. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I hope he liked it. Once again, it's probably one of the hardest haircuts that I had to do. But nonetheless, guys, I got it done. But that's basically it, YouTube. I appreciate y'all for watching. Until next time, let's go.